now from the crew you know as the area sports leader at YourSportsEdge.com. Nowhere else.
We are the champions.
New app, new look, the gold standard. YourSportsEdge.com.
We are the champions.
Download now. YourSportsEdge.com.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy offers a wide range of family-friendly classes as well as personal training, yoga, gymnastics, sports training, cardio, and weightlifting. Trilogy has something for everyone. Trilogy now offers an app with online workouts, live classes, nutrition tracking, and more. Search Trilogy Performance Sports in your app store. Use sign-up code 1824. For app info and more, follow them on Facebook.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Imagine this. It's late at night, it's cold and dark, and you have a flat tire. One never knows when old Bessie's gonna cause you problems. There's only one place to call, Wallace Towing and Recovery in Princeton. Wallace Towing and Recovery is a 24/7 towing and recovery service. You can count on Wallace Towing and Recovery to get you safe and back on the road or to a repair shop. Wallace Towing and Recovery will jumpstart your vehicle, change a tire, deliver gas, unlock a door, or haul to the garage or scrapyard. Wallace Towing and Recovery has you covered in Princeton and surrounding areas. Call Wallace Towing and Recovery. Check them out on Facebook, and when you need a tow or roadside help, call Wallace Towing and Recovery at 270-963-9081.
Caldwell County is a special place in Western Kentucky, featuring beautiful tracts of land. Even though the real estate market is always in a constant state of change, Bollinger Real Estate and Auction understands this and is ready to work for you.
Hi, my name is Ben Bollinger with Bollinger Real Estate and Auction. Whether it's a property valuation or time to sell, Bollinger's team is dedicated to work for you. Real estate solutions with a passion for people.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton, the WPKY studios. Thanks for tuning in this morning. We really do appreciate it. Of course, we've got a big celebration here today. The Sideline Report turns 4 years old this week. If you go back to September 21st, 2017, the Sideline Report premiered right here on WPKY, and here's kind of what it sounded like.
And at 9:03, this is a new thing that we're going to do here at the Tiger. The WPKY is going to team with the Times leader and Todd Griffin, and we are excited to launch today the Sideline Report, and I have Todd Griffin in studio. How you doing today, sir?
Good morning. It's good to be here.
We were talking. It's homecoming week, and in a way, this is a homecoming, of course, for Caldwell County High School, but it's a homecoming for you.
It is. It seems like we've come full circle. You and I have done this before in a different spot on the Dawson Road, but it's
over 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was a few days ago, but for me, this is a homecoming. This used to be the quick pick. We were talking before we came on, there used to be a centipede machine over by the front door, and I put enough quarters into that thing that, I could probably be retired now. And, of course, the cycle shop was next door. My grandfather owned it. My dad worked there. My uncle worked there.
You spent a lot of time on this block.
I walked out here after school every day from West Side and the Butler Building, and so it's kind of a homecoming for me, too. So it's just that seems to be the theme of the day.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here, and I'm so excited. Talked to Jared a couple weeks back. I talked to you, and I said, put on your thinking cap. I said, we want to be able to cover Tiger sports in particular here in Caldwell County, and we might touch on some other things down the road. But you all do just a terrific job at the Times Leader. You are Caldwell County sports,
well, thank
and
you.
To be able to partner with you is very fun. I think it'll be very informative for the listening audience as well.
So welcome, and thank you for being here. And I'm sure you ran across the street a few times to get some Druthers cheeseburgers in those days as well.
Well, I remember, I think the standard order was, a cheeseburger, onion rings, and a chocolate shake.
There you go.
I think when they saw me coming, they just went ahead and
Had it
dipped
ready.
the onion ring, so it was ready to go when I pulled up to the counter. But yeah, I've been here a whole lot. Like I said, I can still see the counter from the quick pick and the roll from the back and everything. It's kind of interesting.
It's surreal, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago when the Sideline Report debuted here on WPKY. And who better to have on the show this week than my former co-host, Ty Englebright. Ty, welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Todd. I mean, what great memories. And I wish, I love Casey's over there. Don't get me wrong. Cheeseburger, onion rings, and milkshake for breakfast.
Yeah,
this
for
morning,
sure.
Wouldn't you? But
this whole area has kind of changed. And one thing that I didn't mention there in the opening is that I think I set a world's record on that first show. That was the first. That was the most knows anybody has ever said in 1 hour.
I don't care how long you've been in this business, or sometimes your nerves get to you. Yeah. I mean, I'm nervous this morning, and I used to do this a lot. Yeah. But it's great to be back here with you. I really appreciate you inviting me to be on. Was so proud. This is the type of the community that, when people work together, a lot of great things get done. And when I was working for the McEnany's here at the Tiger at the time, it just made sense. I was having trouble, covering local sports myself. We didn't have a huge staff. And I thought, oh, my goodness, we've got the resource right here. Why don't we just team up and make it a team effort? And so that's really what spawned the Sideline Report.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. Still here 4 years later, so.
Indeed, and we started without any sponsors, and then we gradually got a few sponsors, and didn't want to make it really big, just wanted to kind of have a little exclusive thing going. So, I think there were more people as we got going that wanted to jump on board and be a part of it, but it was kind of nice to get those initial few sponsors that decided to come on board and get it rolling.
Well, and if I remember back to that first show, we really didn't know exactly where we were going. We never said the show's going to be an hour long or 30 minutes long, or even if there would ever be another show.
Well, and I have to. That's right, and I have to really hand it over to you, because I didn't really initially envision it as a show, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think my vision for it was just some teamwork, and maybe you doing a quick recording, kind of like the way Eddie does on yours now, or Scott, do a 2 to 3 minute little synopsis every morning on during a newscast or something. So you sort of brought the vision of what it became, and so I'm just glad. Congratulations to you for keeping it rolling in 4 years, and looking forward to hopefully, we have another tradition here. We've been doing that Thanksgiving show, Thanksgiving morning, so looking forward to hopefully being a part of that one this year.
Well, not only that, but I think the Murray State guys are going to join us that morning.
That'd be great.
When I was doing the schedule with Dave Winder, he had sent back the list of dates. We do that about 4, 5, 6 months in advance, and I emailed him back and said, hey, this November date happens to be Thanksgiving. And we talked about it, and he's like, well, I think we can do that.
That's great.
So we could have a guest on the show this time.
That'd be fantastic. And what a way to have Thanksgiving morning than with our Murray State Racers. That's great.
And we have done a new show every week for 4 years. A time or two, it has been recorded. We had to record a couple of shows back in the day, and I missed one show when COVID kind of had me sidelined, and Tess set in that morning and did the Sideline Report. So it's been a new show every Thursday morning for 4 years.
Yeah, and and really, if you think about it, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that you prep for. You try to and I was the worst at that. I was always saying, Todd, now listen, I'm kind of running behind here. You have to help me out. And we've got little cues, believe it or not, that when somebody says something you don't know, you just kind of got a little cue so they can kind of roll on. But you're always prepared. You always have something, and even when you say you don't, it always turns out to be a great show. And because you're a professional, so that's a testament to you.
Well, like they tell you that when you don't hear what somebody said, just say, "Well, that's right," and then go off into whatever.
That's right. And of course, where would this show be without some of the little quirky things we we throw in there
the
our
top fives.
our top fives and top 10 lists, and whether it pertains to sports or not, it seems to work and go over because not only is this a sports show, this is a show for intellect, for ideology, for philosophy and psychology.
We hope to be entertaining.
We hope to. It's not always on purpose, but we hope that somebody gets a laugh about it or learns something.
Well, and the ultimate goal is to provide information. That's what any radio station or newspaper or any kind of publication should strive to do. It's all about information. I mean,
definitely.
You and I could sit here and reminisce all day, but we also want to throw out a few things like, Caldwell County volleyball at Marshall County tonight has been canceled. They don't have enough officials down in the first region. Didn't have enough officials in the second region to move it here, so that had to be canceled. And, of course, most everyone's probably heard that the football game at Ballard Memorial this Friday has been canceled. Ballard doesn't have enough players between COVID and whatever. They're down to about 11 players, so not enough to play. And it was going to be their homecoming, so you think that would be a game they would play if at all possible. So they're just not able to go this week, so no football game Friday night.
Well, and Caldwell's not been able to schedule another opponent at this time, so
but there is an open date later in the season, so maybe they can pick up somebody there and still have a full 10-game schedule. We had been pretty lucky this year that we had avoided any COVID cancellations as far as football goes, got the first 5 games in. Of course, last year, every week was an adventure on whether or not we were going to play, who we were going to play, where it was going to be, was it going to get canceled at the last minute, so that wasn't a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the days where the COVID cancellations are not a thing anymore.
I'm telling you, it really has been a tough 18 months for everybody, whether you've lost someone, whether you've had someone sick, whether you've had kids trying to go to school. But through these times when you're challenged, you learn something and you persevere. And this is, as much as you want to move forward, you can look back and say, hopefully we're all strengthened by this experience. And I think that, when you're trying to play sports and you're looking at opponents, right now it seems like it's worse now than we were back last year.
And for a while there, we thought we were making progress.
Exactly, but boy, it's nice to see these stadiums on the national level starting to fill up. Whether people are vaccinated or have had this horrible thing, and some sign of normalcy hopefully coming back, and hopefully we can get people to where they can, we can have our sports again, where we don't have to have, cancellations. But it's just where we are right now.
Ty Englebright is in the studio with us this morning. Again, 4th anniversary for the Sideline Report here on WPKY. Need to get to a timeout. We'll be back with more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY right after this.
Need cash fast? Get the money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
Whether it's their first day at kindergarten or the first day as a senior in high school, you want your kids to have everything they need.
Don't let money worries stop you. Visit ABC Finance.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
And we can help you with all the things your child will need for school.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointment is needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call, and we will take your application over the phone.
Or you can apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
And like us on Facebook.
ABC Finance in Hopkinsville on Fort Campbell Boulevard next to O'Charlie's, and in Princeton Plaza. ABC Finance. All loans subject to normal credit approval.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Goodwin Insurance Agency and Woodall Agency have great news. Effective January 1st, they have joined forces to provide even more options for all your insurance needs. Together, they provide the best prices and coverage from top-rated insurance companies and insure all lines of insurance. See Tori Hammett or Fred Foltz, or go to insurewithgoodwin.com for more information. Don't pay too much for your insurance. Let them shop for you and save today.
When you have an accident and require body work, you want to go to somebody that can fix it right. Right? Clint Long with Clint's Body Shop is the guy for the job. He's super nice, honest, and does a great job. Clint's Body Shop has been voted the best body shop in the Best of Western Kentucky ballot for multiple years. There are bigger body shops out there, and there are a lot of them, but there's only one that's been voted the best. Clint's Body Shop, located in the heart of Lamasco Community, State Route 93, South Eddyville.
This is the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. Ty Englebright is in the studio with us this morning, and we're kind of reminiscing about the first Sideline Report that we did, which was September 21st of 2017, and Ty was the host of that show, and I came in and tried to talk a little sports that morning, and we're going to listen now back to a little clip from the show. We can enjoy this little flashback from the original Sideline Report.
You know, some amazing history. You've put together the book about Caldwell County football, and we'll turn it back there for a few minutes as we head into this homecoming, and it's going to be a heck of a football game Friday night.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to call our show the Sideline Report, because the sideline is where I've kind of set up shop for several years now, and that's kind of the view I have of the game. And
all games, you're on the sideline everywhere.
Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's not the best place to watch a game. Sometimes I'll go back and watch the football games on film, online, and you see things a little differently from up top as you do from the sideline. But I always felt like I've had kind of a front row seat for Caldwell sporting events, and I've been glad to have that. Again, that's from our original Sideline Report back on September 21st of 2017, and Ty, it doesn't really seem like it was that long ago.
It really doesn't, and it was, and I just remember, when we were talking about being on the sideline, you were on the sideline everywhere, whether it was on the side of a basketball court, wrestling, you were just everywhere, and I think that name certainly is appropriate for what this show was about, and then you nailed it when you said, hey, I want to call it the Sideline Report, and it just worked.
Well, and the first few shows were just you and I talking. That's it. That was the show. You would run the board, and I would come in and we'd talk sports for an hour, and we'd say goodbye, and that was the show. But then eventually we kind of graduated a little bit and started having a guest or two on the show, and it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, and of course I knew that you had all those connections, so I had a feeling that it would grow and expand. And of course, once you had some really great ideas. I know Fonzo White. Guess, and he was out of state, running a basketball program in Indiana, and those were cool. Larry Vaught ended up being on. The guys from Murray State, you mentioned those. So it was interesting, and with your sports connections, it just worked. I didn't have those connections in sports because I hadn't been doing it the way you had for the past 30 years. So it just worked out really well.
Well, I think one of the first guests we had was Eli Pepper.
I think so.
When he was at Lipscomb.
I think that's right.
Do you remember anybody before him? I know we had Emma Taylor.
We had Emma. We would, and that was really great because here we've got the hometown connection to the LPGA.
Yeah.
And she was so gracious to usually make time for us. And I think, there were several times I think she had her friend from New Zealand was here and sat in the studio and watched it, so that was pretty cool. And of course, you can't dismiss Gator and DT when we were doing their show, and some of the really great football coaches that in some of the analysis that they could bring in as well. So it all kind of meshed and worked together. And of course, I think when the McEnanies purchased the station and approached, and the Hugheses had it, that worked for Gator and DT to come on and just do their thing. And that was, how fantastic was that?
Well, and I had them on just about a month ago.
Exactly. I enjoyed it. It kind of reminisced about that. So
well, and Emma Talley was on 2 weeks ago. And that was interesting because she couldn't be on Thursday morning. She had a prior commitment, but we were able to do, an interview Wednesday afternoon and record it and play it. And sometimes I like the live interviews better, and I kind of like it when people are in the studio. So,
right.
When you can look at each other and converse, it's a little
Sure.
easier to have a conversation than to try to talk on the phone. But that was great. It also ended up being, kind of fortuitous because we had just a little problem with the phone line during the interview.
Yep.
But, thanks to editing, I was able to go in and pull out the 30 seconds we couldn't hear each other, and you never knew it until now when you listened over the radio.
But that's the magic of what we can do sometimes in studio is just to edit those things together and not miss a lick. And you're blessed to being able to do that and do it well. And, the live aspect of radio is really fun because you just never know exactly some of the things that come into play with it. You hope nobody says anything. I remember always kind of having to keep the mics, especially when Gator and DT were in the studio, kind of had to watch them when we go to break. Just kidding, guys. But it's awfully, it's a lot of fun.
Well, you have to be careful anytime now that you're near a microphone because you may not be going over the air, but you might be going over YouTube, or you might be going to this place or that place. And, just because you're not, quote, on the air, you might actually be in a situation where somebody can hear what you're saying. So, you just have to be careful.
Exactly.
Not just you, but anybody around you
yeah.
saying anything. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember being, especially when I was here full time. Back in the day, you'd walk out and go, okay, I've got a camera on me here. You've got some audio on it sometime. Do you have something turned up over there? And you do got to be careful.
Yeah. Well, the first time I came in here, the microphones didn't scare me that much because I'd done that before.
Right.
But sitting there with the camera on you for the live stream. That can be a little intimidating.
And let's talk about that for a minute because, social media and YouTube and, the live stream, it really became a big part of what we do, especially in sports.
For sure.
For the folks, when we started doing the live stream for the games, folks that couldn't travel and were unable to get out, or maybe they were traveling themselves somewhere, could tune in, and that was a really cool thing that really took what we do to another level. There's some negatives to it. There's some positives to it. Like anything, but it really has kind of transformed on how we do. What we do or what you do.
Well, I did not originally take to Twitter or Facebook or any of those things. Just kind of wasn't my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as things kind of progressed, it just became a way to get scores out, information out, things that you couldn't get out, quickly some other way. You had this avenue to share information, and people just kind of gradually picked up on that and kind of got to those things, and that's just kind of the way we share information sometimes.
Well, I couldn't tell you how helpful it was. Well, you'd come in here on a morning, and like I said, I wasn't, sports wasn't my number one priority when I was trying to run this place, but I could come in here in the morning, and I must say, yoursportsedge.com and pretty much get caught up with what happened the day before. Yeah. So you use those resources, whether it was yoursportsedge.com or somebody had, you could have a parent that said, hey, my kid had 5 goals last night. And then, you had that information. You could throw that into a report, and that was just kind of nice.
Well, it was always great when parents would, because nobody can make it to everything.
No.
Nobody can cover everything. There's too many sports and too many activities going on. But it was always nice when a parent would text or tweet or hit you up on Facebook and say, hey, the volleyball team won here, or the soccer team won here, or the JV football team won here, or whatever. And, then you could share that with everybody, and
exactly.
that everybody was able to keep up with what was going on.
As long as it's correct.
Yeah. Well, that can be tricky sometimes.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. When you work in sports, there are a lot of numbers.
Exactly.
And all it takes sometimes is to get one number wrong someplace, and it completely blows everything up. So,
yeah, it. And that's the thing, about the society we live in today. We've got so many information sources, and it's hard to determine. A lot of them are reliable. Some of them aren't so reliable. And so what that happens is you got a black here, you got a white here, and sometimes the black and white merge and it becomes gray and you don't have a clue. And I think that's the only thing that ends up biting you.
Well, and even worse, there are some people that, send out false information, deliberately.
Sure.
So you have to watch those things too. But I think by and large, it's a good thing. I mean, you find people either on Facebook or Twitter that you can trust.
Exactly.
And then that's the information you use.
A trusted source, and that is so important.
Ty Englebright is with us on the show this morning. Need to get to another timeout. We do have a top 5, though. Haven't told you what that is. It's our top 5 favorite stadium arena rock songs. So, well, I guess it doesn't have to be rock. It could be anything. But
yeah,
mine's kind of rockish.
I think mine's pretty much rockish, too.
So I'm not really hip to what the kids are listening to these days. So I probably have some older songs on my list.
I got some Glenn Miller Orchestra stuff on mine.
All right, need to get to a timeout. Back with more here on the Sideline Report at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at Big John's Barbecue. Be sure to like and follow them on Facebook.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, sunshine today with a high near 69 degrees. Clear tonight, low down to 47. More sunshine on Friday and Saturday. Friday's high 75, Saturday's high up to 76 degrees. Once again, our forecast today, 69 and sunshine.
Enjoy lunch and this beautiful fall weather in Western Kentucky on the covered porch at Adams Breezy Hill Farm. This is a perfect way to make an ordinary lunch a little extraordinary. They specialize in making your lunch or dinner more than just a meal. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 10:30 to 2:30 for lunch, and Thursday through Saturday, 4:30 to 8:30 for dinner. Follow them on Facebook for giveaways and more. Adams Breezy Hill Farm, 1222 Cadiz Road, Princeton, Kentucky, 270-365-1234.
Continental Mills, makers of Krusty's brand baking mixes, is hiring. Listen to why their employees find Continental Mills the best place to work.
Hi, this is Ireland with Continental Mills. First year of working there, I managed to buy my very first car. After 2 years, I just got approved for a mortgage. The benefits are really good. I've already gotten a raise, life insurance and health insurance, 2 3-day weekends a month, an hour during lunch, and then we all just eat and play games with each other. Quarterly bonuses. They provide us with uniforms. We don't even have to wash them because they have their own laundering.
Back on the Sideline Report at 1580, 103.3 WPKY, and happy birthday to us. Again, 4 years of the Sideline Report.
No cake. I didn't bring a cake.
No, I didn't think that far ahead.
I didn't either. But that's how this thing rolls, isn't it?
And we do have another flashback from our first show, so take a listen to this.
And it's a good partnership. We're blessed in this community to have a radio station, as we talked earlier, that does these games. We're blessed to have a newspaper that is supportive of sports and everything that goes on in the community, and we're just all better working together.
Well, I want to emphasize that, and it's not me or you or anybody else. It's just the community. A lot of places don't have this. I've gone to other schools before trying to get stats. They don't have those things. I've asked, who are your 1,000-point scorers in basketball?
They can't tell you.
Nobody knows. Nobody ever put that together. Well, it's really neat to be able to have that stuff here to, think to all the guys who have done the sports back through the years. Yeah. Thank goodness they put stats together, because when I went back and did the football book and did basketball stats and whatever, so much of that stuff was there. I mean, maybe not everything, but enough of it was there to make an effort to try to put together record books and history books and results. And
we need that stuff.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm hoping other people do too, because I keep putting it out there. So, hopefully they do. But thankfully, along the way, somebody at the paper always was a sports fan, or for the most part.
Yeah.
Because even going back to the 1920s, you see basketball coverage and the football team results were almost always put in there. And so if I'm doing anything, I'm just trying to continue what somebody else started.
That's awesome. And before you was Joey Randolph, and Brad Kimmel was around doing stuff, and I don't even know who it was.
Even back through the years, I mean, the 40s and 50s, somebody always had all that. So that's big great. that information was there.
It tells you a lot about Caldwell County and their sports fanaticism too, because it is. This is a community that cares about its sports programs and what their kids are doing and supportive. We talked about that. So, boy, it's going to be fun, and I can't thank you enough for being here today.
Is that really what we sound like on the air, Ty?
I never have liked what I sound like on the air, to tell you the truth. But, we were talking about the stats, and I think of, there's somebody that comes up to mind that was a sports person. Chip kept those stats, when he was at the paper. And, of course, Mr. Beavers, who just passed, he did sports not only at the paper, but he did them at WPKY, too. He worked at the paper and WPKY. So, I know Mr. Beavers, was a big part of keeping those stats. And how it's an archive. It's a record, and we are blessed, as we talked about then, to have that, because a lot of communities just don't. And look at the guys that you have now. You got a great team on the sideline with Gary and Chris, and I don't know if Tyler's still doing it or not for you, but that's valuable information.
Carl Copeland comes down and keeps stats for us sometimes too. So. Yeah, it's always great that people are willing to come out and kind of help that way.
Yeah, and then, of course, you had guys who were doing, the basketball stats. So very valuable information.
We do have a top 5 we want to get to. Going to run through it quickly this morning, but it's our top 5 favorite stadium arena songs. These are the songs you hear at ball games, and as always, I thought this would be easy. It ended up not being easy.
No, it's not. Well, it's when you have 5, you want about 50. There's a whole bunch of good stuff that you just got to leave off.
A top 10 would be greater, but we only have an hour show.
That's right. That's right. We're going to start with number 5. Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
You could go first.
Okay. And this is kind of one of those that I really don't like, but I had to put it in the top 5 because you hear it a lot, and it's Kiss Him Goodbye, by Steam.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, like I said, it's one of those you hear like, oh. You're like, oh. But you got to put it up there.
As a St. Louis Blues fan, my number 5 is going to be Gloria by Laura Branigan.
There you go.
That was the official or unofficial anthem of the 2019 Stanley Cup champions.
They made the run.
Yeah.
So, as soon as they heard it, they made the run.
Well, without the song, who knows what was going to happen? I mean,
but that's sports, you know. It's just you get on a streak, something starts that streak, and you better stay with it.
No doubt that anybody is superstitious or anything.
No, we wouldn't want to go there. All right, my number 4, and where would we be without the Rolling Stones and Start Me Up?
Oh, for sure. How else are you going to start a football game without Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones?
I mean, can you have a kickoff without it?
No, you need to play that. My number 4 is Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
That's one of my favorites. I mean, to me, that, and if you haven't seen the video for that,
it's one of the greatest ever.
There's no doubt about it. And then when you implement it in a Star Trek movie, blowing up stuff, and I mean, that gives me chills thinking about that.
That was Star Trek Beyond?
I think so, yeah. So when Captain Kirk's blowing up stuff and you got Sabotage going in the back.
But they call it classical music.
That's right, back then, because they were in 2375, I think, right?
Yeah. So it's classical music to them. So, okay, we're up to number 3.
Hey, we got a little bit of our sci-fi in there this morning.
Yeah, but we'll talk Star Wars at some point.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. Okay, number 3, you got to get the AC/DC going with Thunderstruck.
All right. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
My number 3, we talked about it, the Rolling Stones, Start Me Up.
There you go.
It's just not an NFL game if you don't hear Start Me Up as the kicker approaches the ball to kick off.
Right, and, I was trying to think of all, the different sports I'd attended, whether it was, a college basketball game. I haven't seen the NBA games, but I've watched it on TV. You can hear stuff in the background. I've been to NFL games and Major League Baseball, stuff like that. So, and then the high school stadiums, they get to rocking too.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of an old Ramones fan.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is going to be the Blitzkrieg Bop.
That was very close to making my list.
Yeah.
I wanted to put it on there, but again, I only had 5.
I know.
But the hey ho, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean,
you gotta
do you ever not hear that?
Yeah, you got to. I went with the stuff that kind of just mainstream, but gotta love it.
All right, my number 2, and you've already talked about this one too. AC/DC Thunderstruck.
There you go. I love how our lists are always kind of similar. I mean, we're thinking on the same wavelength. So yeah, you just that fires you up when you hear that.
Well, the best UK football opening ever up at Kroger Field, Commonwealth Stadium, whatever you want to call it now, was when they played Thunderstruck, and they had Jared Lorenzen and Derek Abney and those guys, and they would start playing that, and the crowd would get hyped, and I'm telling you, standing there on the sideline taking pictures, when I heard all of that and saw all of that and heard the crowd, I could have run down on that first kickoff and busted somebody up.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's for, man. Let's get worked up.
Now somebody would have had to have dialed 911 immediately after the first play. I would have needed help to get off the field.
Well,
but for one play, I could have sprinted down that field and hit somebody.
We can help you on that 911. And then let's go to number 1. Now, I could say, well, I love the national anthem. That ought to be number 1.
Yeah.
And so, honorable mention, I'm going to make that my number 1 because I believe we ought to play
every
it.
Game,
yeah. But this song to me is just good no matter where it's played, when it's played, and it's Journeys Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah. That almost made my list as well.
I had to put it at number 1 just because it is. It's not a fire-up song, but it's just Journey. I like it.
I kind of cheated a little bit with my number 1. This is kind of 2 songs, but you hear them both at ball games constantly, and it's "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions"
there you
by
go.
Queen.
Yep.
I think "We Are the Champions" is the ultimate, hey, we just won something song.
Yeah, no doubt. It should have made my list, and it easily could have, but I figured you might have it. So yeah. I'm going to let you have all the glory on "We Are the Champions." And
like I said, I figured it probably went too heavily with the rock stuff. I mean, but I could have had Ozzy Osbourne or a lot of things on
Crazy
there.
Train. That's a class. And I really like now. Well, say now. It's been going on for a while. Your major league players. I don't remember Pete Rose stepping up and playing Crazy Train or Wichita Lineman, maybe, but
or anything really.
Yeah.
There used to be an organist, and that was the music you heard in the stadium the whole game.
And now your individual players step up and they got their own songs.
Oh, yeah, everybody's got to have walk-up music.
Yeah. So. It's kind of funny, but music does something for your soul, it does something for the heart, it does something at sporting events that just make it a little bit fun.
Well, it kind of energizes you. Sometimes that crowd is just kind of sitting there and they need just a little boost to kind of get fired up, and
especially if you're a Rupp Arena, right?
Yeah. So those are our top 5 songs, and we could have done a top 5 Star Wars anything, but I think we've probably about played out our Star Wars top 5.
I wouldn't go that far, Todd. I got a feeling it will resurface at some point. That and our Star Trek. I'm trying to now. I'm not on the Marvel stuff yet.
Okay,
I'm getting there.
Well, you need to really check out those movies.
I know. You've been telling me. I don't know why. I just cannot get there, but I'm working on it.
For the most part, they're all really good.
I know. That's what I see. I see bits and pieces of them. They're intriguing, but I just can't seem to sit down and find the time to.
Well, the top 5 was always a favorite part of the morning when we first started.
It was.
We were sitting here with an hour, and like you said, the first several months we didn't really have any sponsors or really any guests or anything. So, the top 5 was always a nice diversion between sports.
I'm even getting comments this morning. What's the top 5? and a lot of people, a few people say that they even like the top 5 and the top 10 that don't involve sports.
Yeah.
So I always like the food ones, and we might have to do that for Thanksgiving. I don't know.
That would probably be pretty good for Thanksgiving. So.
Yeah. So we might have to do some food. It might not have to be Thanksgiving food. It might just be
any food.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Talking with Ty Englebright this morning on the Sideline Report. Need to get to a timeout, but we'll continue right after this here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Black Patch Grill.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, sunshine today with a high near 69 degrees. Clear tonight, low down to 47. More sunshine on Friday and Saturday. Friday's high 75, Saturday's high up to 76 degrees. Once again, our forecast today, 69 and sunshine.
Get the care that you need to stay mentally and physically well from the convenience of your home. Health First Community Health Center is doing their part to help stop the spread. They're now offering telehealth services to keep you healthy at home. Scheduling a virtual visit with your medical or behavioral health provider is easy. All you need is a smartphone, tablet, or computer and internet access. Contact their office for an appointment at 877-667-7017. That's 877-667-7017. At Health First, your health is their first concern.
Life is filled with moments. Moments we share with those we love, worry about, and strive to protect the most. At Woodman Life, we provide life insurance and retirement products to help protect you and your family so that you can enjoy all the moments to come.
This is Josh Ray, your local Woodman Life agent. Come see us at 1009 West Main Street or give us a call at 365-6111.
Certain eligibility and age restrictions apply. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska.
Back on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Ty Englebright is with us. And Ty, a little Genesis coming out of...
I like that. I noticed that. They're on tour, actually.
Yeah, they are. I can't believe that. I saw that the other day. There was a picture from, like, their first show.
Phil Collins is in a chair.
Yeah.
God bless him.
When did they get back on tour?
Yeah, I think they're going to do a stint through England, and then I think they're going to head over to the United States.
Wow.
So, yeah, but Phil Collins is in a chair. And I think Mike Rutherford does part of the show in a chair. So, but at least they're still out there doing it. You got to give them credit.
Well, I've actually got Alice Cooper and Ace Frehley tickets for next month.
Man, I saw Alice Cooper a couple years ago, and at Halloween, it was great.
I think it's been a year and a half since I've been to a concert, so I'm kind of ready to go back.
You're ready to get back. I hear you.
We mentioned on the show earlier, no football game this week. The game at Ballard Memorial has been canceled, and the Tigers were unable to find a replacement, although they do hope they can find a team for the Week 10 spot. That was the open week between the Murray game and the Trigg County game, so hopefully the Tigers can still pick up an extra game there. Last time out, the Tigers beating Union County, previously undefeated Union County, 24-13 at Tiger Stadium. And our C3 lineman of the game for that contest was Elijah Shaheen. The Power Play lineman brought to you by C3 Electric, selling and servicing Generac generators, new construction, remodels, and more. With over 24 years experience, you can trust C3 Electric for quality service and installation. Again, Elijah Shaheen is the C3 lineman of the game for his efforts against Union County last week at Tiger Stadium. And Ty, a big win there for the Tigers over a Union County team that had been 4-0.
That's right, and those games are always great between when the Tigers and the Union County Braves get together, and we seem to have their number, though, don't we? It just seems to always, whether we play up there or down here, I don't know if we're just inside their head or what it is, but I've been really impressed, and I haven't kept up with, my kids are gone from the high school, but, of course, I had a son that, played football for Caldwell County, and I kept up with it a whole lot, but what I have noticed just enough is that we've really made some good adjustments, it seems like, from that first game, where we had that loss to Christian. Of course, Christian County, got to give them to, they always have a pretty good team, field a great team, but really seen, some of the adjustments I think the coaches made and the players, and it's turning out good.
Yeah. I think everyone kind of thought maybe it would be just a little bit of a down year at Caldwell County. That was kind of what everybody was writing and saying. Somebody told me before the season started, though, that a lot of times at Caldwell County, when everybody's kind of predicting us to be down a little bit, we usually end up with a pretty good record that year.
Right.
That somehow we pieced together a pretty good season. And right now the Tigers at 3-2, 4-2, I guess, if you get to count the COVID forfeit at Ballard Memorial. But Tigers kind of playing well, knocked off a Union County team that came in with a lot of momentum. And,
exactly.
You look at the schedule remaining, if you get to play those games, and, you kind of like the chances of having a winning season and potentially getting a home playoff game, maybe winning a playoff game and moving on. So,
and you never know. Yeah, as we know, it's always about being hot if you get to get in the playoffs and get on. We talked about streaks earlier, but yeah, you hate that they maybe seem like they have a little bit of momentum, and you lose that by not having a game possibly this week, and you kind of wish you could kind of keep things going that are positive. But I'm sure that maybe they get some extra practice in and get to work on some things and move forward.
Well, some extra practice because coming to town next week is Mayfield.
Yeah, that's always a big one to put on the schedule, but a great rivalry.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's been back and forth. The past several years, we've had some controversy involved with it. It seemed like there's always controversy involved in those games, but. The neat thing about that game is that no matter how good Mayfield is, Caldwell County is always a little bit in the back of their head, knowing that they might get a game, they might get a loss, and it could potentially happen. And we're not intimidated by them.
Yeah, it's always a difficult matchup because Mayfield is good year in and year out. But I think if you go back over the last 10 or 12 years, Caldwell has had about as much success against Mayfield as anybody has.
No doubt.
Which isn't a ton, but there are a few wins here and there, and a couple of games that maybe we thought should have gone a little differently that did not. But for the most part, those games have been pretty competitive.
No doubt about it. And, it's unfortunate when you get extra kicks and penalties at the end of the games that just seem to come out of nowhere. But like I said, you can't dwell on that kind of stuff. You got to move forward and know that, there's another game to play, and you just give it your best shot each time you go out there and lay it all out on the gridiron.
So again, no football game this week for the Tigers. Also no volleyball tonight for the Lady Tiger volleyball team. That match at Marshall County has been canceled. Soccer is still on tonight, as far as I know right now. The Lady Tigers and Tigers both going to Paducah St. Mary, and both teams had big wins over Paducah Tillman here at Butler Stadium on Tuesday, so good luck to those teams. And this is the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Ty Englebright in the studio with us this morning, and it's been 4 years since we started the show. And Ty, one thing I wanted to mention that, we started talking about it earlier a little bit, is the information. I always thought we were just another service to get information out there, and when we'd have guests on, to me that's just, again, I keep coming back to it, but, information, I think, is what people want and what they crave, and that's what they're looking for when they listen to the radio or pick up a newspaper or check Twitter and Facebook and whatever else. They're looking for info.
I think they're looking for info, and again, this show has always provided a fantastic way to in this radio station, in the radio station of Ham Broadcasting, all of them, that's what they do. They provide information. They provide information that is statistical for as far as sports is concerned. How many yards did a team get? How many carries did this kid have, and how many touchdowns were scored, but information that is needed in other ways too, where the ball game is, if it's canceled, if there's another one. And then of course you got the entertainment factor, which is always good too. So if you can provide all those things, which I think the Sideline Report definitely does, and some of the other shows that we have on here, it just brings fullness and roundness to everything, and that's what it's all about.
Well, and absolutely free. We have free news over at WPKYonline.com. Want free sports of the Caldwell County High School teams? YourSportsEdge.com.
That's exactly right, and there, it's free to the listeners, but of course we have fabulous sponsors that come on and provide the way and the means for us to get that information and put it on there so that people can tune in and click online and get all that information.
A little strange. Did you ever think 30 or 35 years ago, or however long it's been now, that we were at WPKY on the Dawson Road, that 35 years later we would still be sitting here?
I thought you might, Todd. I thought you might. I don't know about me. I'm a little bit more of a feather in the wind, but no, it's such a. I love this business. I love the business that there's a certain once you are involved in commercial radio or radio of any kind, it just sort of tugs at your heart, and you can never get it out of your system. So I really am appreciative to get to come back and come on the radio some, because it's part of what I put my heart and soul in, for several years, and I love it. I love serving the community at a radio station. I get to still serve the community in my capacity now, and I still get to kind of play radio in a way too. So for what I do, so
yeah, people can definitely hear you on.
Yeah, I work out at the 911 dispatch center now, so it's great to serve the community behind the scenes in an important role like that, and still, you still kind of have a little bit of a radio aspect. It's certainly different, but because it's critical of the information that you get out there, but. I certainly appreciate the opportunity to come and be a part of this show again, because it is dear to my heart. This whole radio station here and this family is important to this community. You guys do a fantastic job, everybody here, and it's a labor of love, and you guys pour heart and soul into it. So congratulations to you for 4 years.
Well, just interesting that, I never thought this would actually be the radio station. As I mentioned when we first came on in the flashback, it was the Quick Pick back in the day.
Well, I grew up on this street, and I know you did, with your grandfather's, business
right
and your dad's
door,
business over here. You're right next door to the lot, and I think we had some crossover time here at the convenience store that was here years ago. Especially we were old video game guys. So
I'm still looking for that centipede by the door.
I'm telling you, you're gonna have to talk to the ownership about that. But it's just a really neat thing to be, like I said, 35 years and to be able to still be doing this and contributing. It's just a blessing, really. And we're blessed in this community.
Yeah, kind of miss the druthers across the street. I don't know how many times I ran across the road, which, even the road now is wider than it used to be. So things have changed. I watched them build the Taco John's building over here, and now Taco John's is at a different location. I watched them build the Pizza Hut building just up the street, and now it's not there. Pizza Hut's in its second building from the original, so just kind of weird how things change. I think that's the third. Is it the third?
Yeah, remember they were across the street, and then they came back over there, at the old gas station, so yeah.
So it's kind of funny when you sit here and you kind of talk like, like the older guys. When you were young, you listened to the older guys talk about, hey, there used to be a barbecue on this corner, and it's like, okay.
I don't feel that way, but we are the old guys now. That's the thing. It's so funny. You think, I remember when this was here, and this was here, and this was here. But one thing that's been consistent is that WPKY has been here since 1950.
Yeah.
and hopefully it'll be here for a long time. And what they've done for those 70 plus years now is provide vital news, information, and sports to this community and surrounding. So the great thing about what you're doing and what everybody's doing here is that it's consistency, it's a legacy, and it keeps moving forward. And that's what everybody needs to be proud of.
Well, and especially when you look back in the day, the only daily source for news and sports was WPKY.
No doubt. And, what a legacy WPKY has here in town for Mr. Goodacre and Twyman and Betty and all the folks that have been behind the mic here. And then, of course, with the McEnany's saving our radio station and the Hugheses, and everybody coming together when it was about gone, and then now Ham Broadcasting taking the reins and making it bigger and better and still about local and the community. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming in and being on the show today. Thanks for getting us going 4 years ago. And like I said, when we did that first show, we weren't even really sure there would be a second show. So here we are.
Well, thank you for everything you do for our community. Thanks to Ham Broadcasting. And Todd, I think it's easy to say you're unmatched in your sports
thank you.
Abilities and coverage here in our county and your sports edge and everything that everybody does. So congratulations to you for keeping it rolling. And we're certainly appreciative, and I look forward to our Thanksgiving show.
I was going to say, what do we have left for Thanksgiving?
I don't know. We'll just have to put our heads together, and we'll figure out a great show for that as well. We'll definitely have to do some eating, I think.
Will it be a Thanksgiving leftovers show?
Maybe. It might have to be that. It might have to be that.
No, we'll come up with something.
We'll have to come up with something.
The great thing about sports, and this is something we found out when we first started the show, was there's always something new to talk about.
Right. We'll be in the middle of basketball. So, basketball will have started, I think. Yeah, should be. And of course, we'll be hopefully, be cool to be talking about some of the maybe football playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least we can look back and reminisce on it be about over. We'll be right kind of, I think it's about the 1st of December when we're talking about the football playoffs and the state championship. So no telling what we'll be talking about.
Yeah, we didn't think we could make it 30 minutes on that first show.
No.
We're like, well, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, we'll just do whatever. And it ended up being an hour. So
yeah, and there were many times, they say we get in trouble for maybe going over.
Yeah.
So I think that we certainly appreciate that everybody that tunes in and listens as well.
Absolutely.
Because we get comments. I've got people listening this morning knowing that I was going to be on. I've got people that consistently watch. I come in from work and I turn on YouTube and I usually check it out on YouTube. So. Again, thanks to you, and congratulations on 4 years.
Yeah, again, thanks for coming in, Ty. And
appreciate it,
we'll
Todd.
talk to you
Thank
on Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
That's Ty Englebright. That's going to wrap up the Sideline Report for this week. This is Todd Griffin. Thanks a whole lot for being with us here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. More Americans are staying on unemployment, and new claims for benefits have ticked back up to 351,000.
That is higher than expected. The continuing number, actually, this rose 2.845 million. 2.845 million. That is actually significantly higher than